Trixie. Welcome back to Artist in the Wild. Doing a little scuttlebutt for you, just a quick one because I had some plans for some videos, but my phone filled up. So I'm now moving on to, I think, my bigger Mercury retrograde project. I have a few, but, unplugging for the devolving Matrix Truman Show Groundhog's Day that we're living through is, just a little background hobby of mine these days. Just gonna be harder to find, you guys. Yeah, so I just wanted to report on how it's going, because I have an older iPhone. This is a 12, and I inherited it when my father passed away, so I'm also very sentimental about it. And I do get sentimental over my few devices here. Eventually we do bond, and I do believe they're working for the light. So I have a good relationship with them, and I like using my equipment. I don't like the disposable world and the endless updates and all that stuff. And so and like I said, since leaving all the things, the Amazon, Spotify, Netflix, Meta, only thing left is YouTube and the apps I use. So, Mercury retrogrades, there's a lot going on astrologically this week if you're one of those cosmonauts like me, so you know about it. But it's just a good time to kind of be like, wait, am I doing this the best way? Go back and look at things, clean up things, reorganize, just kind of circle back, regroup, and make sure that you're going the direction and how you want to be going, So I have been talking a lot about this lately just because of the surprise of how emotional it feels like leaving these things. Each time I feel like I'm going to be missing something. Each time I have to let go of all those excuses that I said were reasons why it has to be X, Y, or Z. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. We don't, we don't have to do it that way. And just really enjoying being more analog, since leaving Spotify. It's been interesting because, I do still just walk one friend's dog, but I was a dog walker in LA for 3.5 years, and I had, I was always listening to something. And also, P.S., this is why I don't use earbuds, is because I blew out my eardrum because it was always in my ear. And it took me a long time to figure out even what it was. I thought it was swimmer's ear from the ocean. But I blew out my eardrum using those dang things. And also, I don't like those signals coming into my skull. So, but I would wear earphones, just walking around all the time, listening to music. And man, since I left Spotify, it's I can't really do that. I was trying, occasionally I would try to listen to other stuff, but it just got to be inconvenient. And then I was just found so much other more interesting things to listen to, like nature, conversations. I'm just more available. I'm more apt to talk to people. I'm more available. I'm more present. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's why I did this. I forgot. So, all of that, all the benefits outweigh the inconvenience. And like I said, I think in my last video, it's a small price to pay for our freedom. Inconvenience is, it's just a little something, causes a little detour. And really that's what Mercury retrogrades are about. So they get a bad rap as being pain in the ass. Everything's going to go wrong, but it's just an opportunity to reroute and make a different pattern. And I think that's really important right now. I'm trying to just be a little harder to find for the controllers right now, who I feel like are definitely pushing us into this digital currency, one world order, control by the globalists. Doesn't even matter. I think America was sold out a long time ago. I think most of the Western world was sold out a long time ago, and with it, probably the developing world that took all their money, and where we moved all of our industries and things like that, So while we're letting them implode themselves and slowly extracting and waking up to it and moving on with our lives. I'm just trying to clean up some messes and get out there, get out in the real world more where I want to be. So that included trying to figure out like what to do about the cloud, because this has been bugging me for a long time. I don't like paying $2.99 a month eternally. I don't want these endless bills from these horrible corporations that I already feel completely what's the word? It's like a subtle enslavement, and it does. I mean, because of, like, when I said about the Spotify thing, like, I had these physical detoxing afterwards, and it was very emotional. It was like it had its hooks in me. And, obviously, I still have my phone and stuff like that. Like, that's the biggie, you guys. So, anyway, one at a time, taking steps back. And so with the cloud, it filled up to the point that I couldn't even take a picture of the beautiful sunset yesterday, and that was a bummer. And also, I'm trying to keep going with the YouTube channel. Even when there's 5 people who watch, I'm like, this is what I got right now, and I'm showing up in real time to talk about the challenges that I go through as a actual proper working artist, and not as an eyelash artist, not as a sandwich artist, not as a balloon artist, but an actual traditional artist. If you're new to this channel, the mission is a re-enchantment, okay? We're re-enchanting the whole world to get the magic back. So that's going to connect us back to source, back to nature, back to ourselves, back to our psychic connection with each other, back to everything, what I call the old magic, where synchronicities work and things show up when you need them, and it's everything's just more bubbly, more connected, and we have more possibilities. So there's the re-enchantment, there's the renaissance, which comes under that, which is what I call the enlighten-upment for this age, this time, a rebirth through enlighten-upment, which means a lifting of our energy and also laughing at it because it's totally ridiculous at this point. And then we can remake the culture, which is the soil our consciousness grows in, which is the dream material. Like, this is what we take in through the stories, through the songs, through the dances, through all the senses, made organically by artists in lots of different ways, and maybe by sandwiches, but so that's what's up. And I'm an artist, and I'm trying to basically hold on right now, you guys. I mean, they made it so impossible to even survive when I still had Substack, which I left because I don't want to collaborate with algorithms, and that was exactly how it became, was just another social media platform, and I was like, fuck this. I was talking about, I had a series that I was beginning to write about how the overculture used the very serious tragedy of the ghost ship warehouse fire in Oakland in, I think, 2019, maybe 2017, I can't remember the year, but how they use that to crack down on artists everywhere and basically make it, illegal to just be an artist, because often, the spaces required to make our work, are not usually residential, and when you can't afford a home, let alone a workspace, sometimes you end up living in your workspace and then, trying to build it out. Not that there aren't mistakes that can be made and things like that, but to just like banish and outlaw and punish everyone, for doing that, has caused a lot of damage, made it really hard for the artists to do their work, to rebuild the culture in an organic way, to have us gather together. And I totally believe that's all by design. And, so I've just been living through the end times like you all, and trying to hang on and get jobs that don't involve me selling my soul, which maybe I'll get into that later. But what I want to talk about right now is, okay, so my iCloud filled up, so I watched a bunch of YouTube videos about, you know, what to do, and it was just even funny because literally it was like trying to decipher what they were saying because it's an older phone and the video was made, some of the videos were made, the most recent one I found was like a year ago or something, and so it was like all the way the layout has changed even from them because they're always like moving the goalposts and changing everything. It's just ridiculous. So it took like all this time to kind of like poke my way around and start finding things. But so then I got onto Cloud and I had to request my data, and they're sending it to me. It's going to take up to 7 days, and I have a lot on there. And this also pisses me off because it links back to even the phone before this, and it even put all of my dad's stuff on there. So it's like, I just want it, I want it off. I want it on the hard drive. I want to have printed albums. I want to have control over my memories. Our memories are our music, our photographs, these things. I'm going to start printing albums again so I can actually like have a relationship with these things. So I don't need to carry around all this like that much on my phone. So I was like, I put the request in, and then while I was at it, I was like, okay, so I'm gonna have to wait before I can do anything on that. And so I was poking around on my phone at like just, you know, kind of what was going on with some different apps, and I got into WhatsApp because you know, that's a Meta company, and so I was like, I was just like poking around, and I saw this thing on here. It says, learn from this app. And it was clicked on. And what it says is, allow Siri to learn from how you use WhatsApp to make suggestions across apps. And I was like, oh, that's just been on for years. I'm like, I don't want to collaborate with Siri. I don't want to collaborate with algorithms. So I turned that off. And then I also went into some other things. I don't have Siri really active, but it was still on. It says leave Siri on even when locked. And I was like, no. Like, why has that been on for years? You know? It's like, it's just crazy, you guys. So anyway, I'm just kind of poking around through here and, you know, kind of tidying up whatever piece of my soul and sanity I can get back at all. And then I was like, okay, well, I got as far as I could get on that today, so let me just like move on to filing my taxes. And so I get on there, and there's this whole thing if you want to file online, and it's like all these disclaimers that you have to agree to about, you know, they won't sell your biometric data. And I was like, well, I'm glad the IRS isn't going to sell my biometric data, but what biometric data are they even going to have? And then the last thing is that they need a eye recognition and a shot of me. And I was like, no, no. So now I'm going to have to go to the library or the post office and get the little paper booklet and try to fill out my taxes the old-fashioned way. And that's how it's going to be right now because, yeah, I'm going to make it difficult, you guys. I'm going to be harder to find, harder to reach, and I don't want them having anything really. So that's really all I had to say, but I will just share, you know, going back to just like trying to survive and hang on right now. And, you know, I do still need work, but it's like, of course I want my career, you know, and that requires a space and it requires all these things, and all my stuff is still in California. And so I'm just like, okay, well, really, I just need money, so I better just get a job, you know, and that's always like a slippery slope, because when you start telling yourself those kinds of things, it just gets real weird. But I've been looking, you know, just poking around. I'll just hop on there and see what's available. So last week I found 2 performing jobs, and I was like, oh, okay, well, let me apply for these. You know, maybe they could be fun. Maybe it's going to be something different. Maybe I'm, you know, just... I need to shake it up and get over myself and X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll try, you know. So there were 2 of them, and I spent all this time like applying, getting my resume together, getting photos together. One of them was an in-person audition, so I was starting to learn the script for that. And then I even got a little costume together because it was for the like murder mystery theater company, and it was like the script was for like a flapper, so I even like went to the thrift store and got a little like 2XL like fringe skirt. What's right here? I got this skirt, and I was like making it into a little flapper dress, and you know, I'm just going to town like I do on everything. And then I was like, oh, and then you need a car. And I'm like, oh, well, my car's in California, so that's not gonna work. And then also I'm like, oh, it's actually like it's Clue, you know, it's based on the game Clue. And I was like, I have kind of a hard and fast rule in my cabaret stuff where I do original characters. I've made one exception one time, but I don't really bite off the overculture's characters. Also, it's just like all of their brainwashing and insanity. So there's like that reason I don't like perpetuating those things. Also, I have an imagination of my own, and that is my spiritual practice. That's why I am a real artist, because I can channel my imagination in this way, and I have to, you know, take care of myself in a certain way to keep that channel open, which means I've had to sidestep a lot of the overculture, because as soon as it starts compressing it too much, I want to kill myself, and I can't do what I'm supposed to do. So, you know, because I unfortunately know that I'm here to be an artist. You know, it would be much easier if I didn't know that and I could just go get a job and have a very comfortable, conventional life. But that is not me, and I know too much, and I know what I'm here to do. And despite everything that's been done to try to prevent me from doing it, I'm not dead yet. So anyway, long story long, because of the car thing, because of the Clue thing, and then also because of the murder thing, I was just like, not gonna do it. It's just not my thing, and I can't pretend that it is. And then the other job that I also wasted a bunch of time on last week was, I mean, it's not a waste of time because, of course, it's always clarifying. Even when it's a fuck no, it's clarifying the path forward, you know? So this other one was like for ghost tours in the neighborhood. You know, I've been living in this like historic seaport part of town, and they've been doing these ghost tours here for a very long time. But so I didn't realize that it was a national company. They're everywhere. It's based out of Boston. They even have like bed and breakfasts, but it's all around not just ghosts and paranormal stuff, but like serial killers, murderers, like stuff like that. And I don't like horror at all. I don't like violence. Like, I'm a lover, y'all. I'd love a sex scene way before a shoot 'em up thing. So yeah, so I was like, okay, well, let me just find out, because see what's happening. So I, you know, applied, had the first round, did the whole like online first interview thing, and you know, I was like, okay, I'm still in it, like, you know, at least I can walk there, it's here. They said I didn't have to have a uniform, I could make my own costume, I create my own character. I was like, okay, like I'm still in, I can do it. And then they sent me the script to film an audition tape, a video of myself. And so I was like, I got the script, and it was like, oh God, it was based on, because it's a big chain and they have this thing already in Boston. It was like a script from their Lizzie Borden murder house tour. And it was so bleak. It was like all about like the number of axe blows and like blowing up these like stupid details, like, you know, and Lizzie says she was downstairs ironing handkerchiefs. That's my theatrical impersonation. But anyway, and then it's like goes into like the gory details about how her mother or stepmother or whatever was killed, you know, the axe blows here and there and how many, and the pool of blood, and it was coagulated when they found her, and then, you know, Uncle John was dead too, and then in the middle of it, there's like a paragraph that's like, and that's why this is the most requested room in the Lizzie Borden axe murder house bed and breakfast. I was like, and so I was like, okay, it's just a job, you know, whatever, get over yourself, just do it. We're just gonna, you know, and that's always the thing, that's like where you compromise your soul. And I was like, if I'm still trying, you know, I was like, okay, well, it's very convenient, I could wear my own costume. So I was trying to memorize it, and like the first night I like read it a couple times, then went to bed, and it fucked my dreams all up. My dreams were like really paranoid and violent, and I was like, and then the next day I was like, okay, just memorize the script, just put it in, like you can still decline later, like it's not a yes, like there's a couple more steps, you know. And so then I was like writing it out, trying to memorize the script, and I'm writing these words over and over again, and like they're getting burned into my mind, and I'm like, whew. I was like, I don't really want these images in my mind, like I don't want to be writing them, and I don't really want them rolling out of my mouth and pressing into the imaginations of other people, and then using my God-given gifts to do that. Like, it was dark. Like, it's disgusting. It was dark. And so I slept on it again, and I woke up in the morning, and I was like, fuck no. If it's a fuck no, it's just a fuck no. Like, I can't. Like, I'm a spiritual person, and I can't pretend like, you know, it's just a script, and it's just a job, and it's just stuff that I'm saying. It's like, I have dedicated my life to performing and being an artist, and I'm not going to use all that training and talent to do it that way and then be the lowest paid person on the whole entire totem pole. And, you know, I just think it's really dark. So, I'm going to be eating spaghetti again tonight. But you guys, I'm laughing about it. I just think we've turned a little bit of a corner. I think that they're getting backed into a corner. I think they're putting on a really good show. Like, it's just, I think, you know, the controllers of it all let it all play out in this political way so we can all get incensed and get all worked up. And I'm happy to say it's not really working on me. Like, it affects me in the sense that, like, people I know are scrambling to like get stuff, you know, from certain countries before tariffs, and like try to sell their house and like, or move to England, you know, all these things. So I'm like, you know, it in the sense that people around me are like scared, scattered and freaking out. Like, I'm like, oh man, that sort of sucks, you know, but I'm doing all right. Like, I'm laughing about it, still just believing it's all going to work out somehow for the best. And, that, you know, inconvenience is just the price of freedom sometimes. So that's all I wanted to say. I hope you're doing well, and I hope to be back with an actual video soon, because I do have some art projects I've been working on that, you know, I want to edit some videos and hopefully start growing this YouTube channel soon. I'm sorry I talk shit about you algorithms on YouTube. I do kind of hope you'll help me and that we can make friends a little bit. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure that we can. I don't really want to be in that world any more than I have to be. But I am enjoying YouTube, so that's it. I'll leave you with that. Have a great time, y'all. It is really intense astrological weather right now. The Venus retrograde, the Mercury retrograde, the eclipse on Saturday. So, you know, just go gentle and laugh. If we can't find the humor in it, I think we're doing it wrong. So, all right, more soon. Mwah!